Dum bum bum. Ba-dum 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 bum bum. Ba-dum 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 ba-dum. Ba-dum 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 ba-bum bum 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 bum. Brah. Okay, a bit early, but sure. Anyway, welcome to Super Autopets. I'm feeling a lot better today, so I thought, you know what? Let's crack into some Super Autopets. I've not played it for, a week and a bit now. Since, again, I don't want to blame it on anything, because I don't know what caused me to get ill. But I felt very rotten at the end of the last, the tier recording, so I think that pushed me over the edge. I load into the game, new patch. I've been talking about it for a while. It's here. So they've added a new animal, the boar, to pack 1 and 2. It's tier 6, 8-6 with the ability before attack gain +2/+2. It's like the hippo, but without, an effect to it. Because it's without the attack first, because you get it before the attack. Interesting, we'll have to try you out. Dolphin is now in pack 2. Tiger is in pack 2 as well. That's a very interesting change. Tiger is interesting. It's also been changed, so the Tiger's abilities now is the friend ahead repeats their ability in battle as if they were level 1, 2, and 3. So you don't get the doubling of a tier 3 animal anymore if the Tiger is tier 1. So the Tiger now has tier effects. I think this is a positive change. It nerfs mainly the Tiger Turkey build, which, was pretty strong. Duck has been nerfed. It now only gives 1 health to shot pets. I think this was unnecessary, but I see why. Fly to 5-5 and the ability to trigger 3 times. Zombie fly to 5-5. So they nerfed then buffed fly. So you don't get 2 zombies with the 5-5s. It only triggers 3 times though, so you only get 15-15 of stats. Which is actually a huge nerf. It basically means, I think, that the fly build now is it's just not going to cut it anymore. Squirrel, start a turn, discount food by 1, 2, 3 gold. Excellent. The squirrel is possibly usable. Do I think it's good? No, but I think it's usable. I say it's not usable. Maybe it's actually really strong with food builds. We have to try all this stuff out again. I'm a kid on Christmas. We have all these new things to test. So spider ability summons pet with the same level, but it's always as a 2-2. Not sure why that's different. Oh, the same level as the spider now. It's not a tier 1. Okay. Interesting. Rabbit ability to also trigger on itself. Okay, nice. Dodo to 2-3, and it gives now 50% of his attack, then 100% of his attack, then 150% of his attack. Again, I think this is a good change. Other strong build was Dodo Rooster. Which also got a nerf, the Rooster. It's now 5-3, and the ability to inherit 50% of the attack. I guess to its, chicklings. I know they're not called chicklings, but we'll call them a chickling. Again, that's a huge nerf to the chicklings. I still think that's really strong, though, if you still generate 1, 2, then 3. But again, we're going to have to test this out. So, crab ability triggers on buy and always targets the highest health minion. This is interesting. So, some people are treating this as a nerf, some people are treating it as a minor buff, because maybe the crab doesn't now scale continuous with your unit, but you can put the crab anywhere you want to now. Which is, potentially pretty useful. I still think the crab is really good. Goat to 4-6 and the ability to have 2 charges and give 1, 2, and 3 gold. I never really used the goat before. I don't know if this was a buff or a nerf. I think it's a nerf. But again, it was a creature I never really used. Sauropod ability to have 3 charges and give 1, 2, 3 gold. Again, I never really tested it out and I feel like that's very similar. Monkey is now a 1, 2 and a tier 5. That's huge. They moved it up a tier. And it gives +3/+3. So people will scale later. Which gives an interesting, spot that the mid-level builds could now occupy. They're not just going to get smashed by, a scaling build who got a monkey early. You'll still potentially get monkeys early. I still think the monkey will be valuable to get. Mainly as, combining 3 units when you're at tier 4. If you get a monkey then, you're probably on your way to 12 wins. The +3/+3 is insane. Crocodile is buffed. It's 8-4 and the ability to deal 8 damage now. It's nice. Okay. Cow ability to upgrade when leveling and provide better milk. I still don't think many people will upgrade the cow, but again, this is something we can try. A bit like we do with the otter, where we leave an otter in while we're buying units. We could leave a cow in and keep buying cows on top of it, and see how good the milk is. I would like to see how the food builds actually do now, because they seem to be pretty unaffected by some of the changes so far. Mosquitoes to always deal 1 damage and hit 1, 2, and 3 targets. I think that's a buff. It's best to just remove melon armor, so you could see a mosquito going to the end game, just to like peel off the melon armor. T-Rex now gives +2/+1 rather than +2/+2, but it targets itself. It's probably a nerf, but it's not a huge nerf. I still think T-Rex is pretty strong. Rat is a 4/5 and summons a 1/1 dirty rat for the opponent. Is that different? Is it the stats just improved on the rat? I don't think so. So I don't know what the difference is, question mark. Milk now gives +1/+2, that's insane. I already thought the cow was a strong unit, it's stronger. Canned food to +2/+1. Okay, they nerfed canned food, so that's fine. Dog is now a tier 3 animal. Again, scaling is harder earlier on. Whale is tier 4. Again, I don't think that was necessary, but sure. I guess because of the nerfs to scaling, they were a bit worried that the whale would just come out and start dominating, giving extra stats by them, producing like a death rattle minion. I know it's not called death rattle, but just humour me here. But that's pretty extreme to bring you back to tier 4. Poodle's a 2/2 and is tier 5, so again, they've moved scaling later into the game. Parrot has been moved forward to tier 4 instead and is 5/3. Puppy ability now costs 2 gold, I still think the puppy's insane. Microbe has dropped to tier 4. Pig is a 3/1, not a 2/2. Interesting. Horse is a 2/1, not a 1/1. I still think the horse will be useless. Shrimp is a 2/3, not a... What were you before? 1/2? Nice. Tabby Cat is 5/3, so I think the Tabby Cat is the one that, you eat food and gives everyone +1 attack, right? Needed a buff. Giraffe 2/5 rather than 2/4, fine. Skunk 3/6, I think it was 3/5, fine. Worm was buffed to 2/2. I think the worm build is what I want to try. Llama I've never taken, so I don't know what your stats were. Same with the lobster, but I presume they've been improved because no one took them. I don't remember some of your raw stats off the top of my head. I think the rhino has been buffed on stats slightly. The seal has as well. I think they've actually just changed, what I suggested. Some of the late game animals here, I think they've just statted them up a little bit so they're more likely to be brought into the squad. Leopard definitely wasn't a 10/4 before. Were you like a 7 something? We'll see if this helps though. Swan has been brought back to 3/3. That's fine. Caterpillar I don't remember, but it's kind of irrelevant. Kangaroo's dropped. It used to be 2/3. It's 1/2. Turtle's now 1/2, but again, I don't think the stats matter. Chicken changed to 1/2. I don't know what you were before, but sure. Today we're doing something different. I will try to give some insight into why we made those changes and what were some of the challenges we're balancing the pets. The rat was reversed to the original form, which was considered to be weak as a house built from paper and spit. We are aware of that, but we felt the betrayal mechanic was just too complex. We tried to keep the FTP path really simple for new players. I thought the right decision was to remove the rat, but it turns out that even the rat has a small vocal fan base of its own. Being told by your players that the change you want to make would disappoint them is a hard thing to ignore. We will have to revisit the rat in a later patch. Sure. So they removed betrayal on the rat, I guess, is what it meant for that. So the rat is probably awful again. We did have a poll that showed that 50% of the voters wanted Turkey to be weaker, so why haven't we done that? Sorry, why haven't we done that yet? We theorised that the new tiger and the new fly will indirectly make the turkey weaker. A lot of new players like the obvious combo, and making it too weak removes the fun. We are trying to carefully keep the fun in place while removing the broken combos. We might be wrong, so we will keep our eyeballs glued to our data and feedback. One challenge is that our community ages. The feedback we get will mostly from the experienced players rather than new ones. I know from my days of playing Hearthstone that developers move like slugs, even when their most knowledgeable players all scream in unison that X is toxic and needs to be changed. Clearly hasn't been playing Hearthstone recently because, he clearly has been playing Hearthstone recently because that's basically the player base of Hearthstone at the moment. I'm looking at you, Quest Warlock and Quest Warrior. One of our goals was to move quicker in response to feedback, but that can sometimes be an emotional challenge as a developer. If you're also reading feedback from other players who really enjoy X and still have to consider the game from a perspective of a new player. Everything right now seems very level-headed and very fair. Dodo Rooster was obviously just too strong. Should the Rooster be made weaker? Absolutely. Should the Dodo be made weaker? Honestly, I am not sure. We have a public test version where we ask players to give their feedback on all the changes we made, but in our case, it was mostly played by really experienced players, who argued against each other, and against your own best instinct. Paying too much attention to the feedback can really put you in a deadlock where nothing gets done. Chicken seems to be completely ignored by the majority, but if you ask the tournament players in our Discord, it is very overpowered. Interesting. Something that completely went over our head, and in our first iteration, we went ahead and made it stronger. After a big glass of humble juice, we admitted our mistake and went the opposite way. Obviously we will mess up sometimes, but we will continuously aim to balance the game. Interesting, I've never ever seen someone run a chicken build. But admittedly I'm not really following, the tournament, the pro level of Super Ultimate if such a thing exists. I guess it does. I can see why the scaling would be very strong on the chicken and just improving the shops. So you can just build like the perfect thing, but I just never got there. Maybe we'll try chicken out again. We got a lot of analytical data to play with, but we're still in the process of figuring out how to use it effectively to determine what pets are too strong and too weak. But sometimes the data contradicts the popular opinion, so sometimes we have to decide if we are making changes for balance or making changes for feelings. I could keep going with all these micro challenges, but I want to eat ice cream, so time to wrap it up. There. Moving forward, we'll aim to make less small changes, and instead just make a few big changes to key underpowered, overpowered pets. Making a huge balance patch feels like a mistake. It is slow, easy to lose the overview, and you probably have to redo stuff anyway because of the ripple effects that comes with changing the previously overpowered, underpowered pets. But let us know what you think about the patch. We will continue to make balance changes, so forgive us for all the things we get wrong this time. We will make it up to you later, smiley face. This seems extremely level-headed from the developer. I love things like this where, devs talk to the community and about the challenges that affect them. Everything here seems very solid. Again, this probably doesn't reach the developer, but honestly, I think this is a sensible thing. If you just patch like certain packs every so often and maybe, make some meta that a bit worse and another meta... Sorry, not meta. If you make an animal that's in the meta, like, I don't know what that meta is at the moment, because obviously the patch has changed. People have to discover it. But let's just say, let's say it was, for example, Tiger Crocodile was, too strong. It probably wouldn't be, but just, humour me. If you then, in a later patch, brought the crocodile down, but let's say the skunk was too weak, and you make the skunk a little bit better, that will keep the player base entertained, like, the discovery of new synergies and stuff. Then all you need to do is, like, add, like, additional little pets and stuff, maybe a new expansion pack, and man, this game will just keep flying off the shelves. Or the internet speak for that, because, you don't buy games on shelves typically anymore. I mean, I've not bought a hard copy game for so long, actually, now that I think about it. Anyway, let's actually play the game. Beta version 14. I'm going to go to... Well, actually, do I want the standard pack? I feel like a lot of the changes were in the expansion. Obviously, we'll change both. Where is Worm? You're in this one. You know what? We'll do the standard pack then at first. You know what? New expansion. Is it time for a new hat? I have 2,000 points. We've been the Jessets for too long. You know what? It's Christmas. Give me the winter hat. And get me in there. Right, pig 3-1 now. Fish 2-3. The horse is still +1 till the end of battle. I don't think this change is going to make enough difference. I'm really intrigued by the 3-1 pig though. So give me a 3-1 pig. And give me a mosquito. You're another interesting animal. I think the duck is worse than it was before, definitely, because, it's +1 health now, but not +1/+1. Is it still viable early on? I don't know. Because it means the stat it's providing really... Oh. It's still providing a decent amount of stats. It's probably still fine. Right, we are going to be the submissive fireman. Probably not what you want, a submissive fireman. Right. Very similar builds. That was probably the worst sniper could have. Honestly, that might be enough for me to convince the pig isn't great. I never considered being sniped at the back. I just considered this 3-1 to be enough to get over any, like, strong unit in the early game. But that's pretty devastating. Sells 1 extra gold, so I'll get 2 gold back on this. So 11. Enough to buy me 3 pets, but not then the food on top of that. I kind of want to run the otter, but I'm a bit worried about it buffing the the pig. I'm going to take the risk. Please don't hit the pig. Thank you. I'll run a second mosquito. I'm not running the pig, but I could see me running the mosquito later into the game. I just want to see how it works out. So I'm actually going to buff a mosquito with an apple. And we'll run with this. Please don't snipe my pig again if you're running a mosquito. They're not. They're horse build. A squad of 3. Very bold strategy. You bought an apple and a honey instead of additional units. Probably bought another apple elsewhere. And you get stomped. Listen. Things have changed. Maybe the peacock is better now. 2 peacocks I'll take. 50% of attack to the friend in front. I'm honestly not going to... I'm not going to try the dodo or the rat for now. The dodo I still think is viable. I think it's pretty good. You know what? I will try the dodo. I've changed... Let's try the dodo. Because the money works out not... I don't know, it works out bad. I had to sell an animal. I've misplayed. Let's not double down on our misplay. Okay, give me one of those, and you give me one of those. That's fine. We might lose this. I was going to cupcake my peacock. Oh, they've changed the little bar as well for the experience. There's like a little, you know, a little indicator that there's 2 bars there. That's a nice little quality of life change. I like it. We are going to lose this. That's fine. We're still learning. And I did misplay. Is everything here I'm happy with? I think I am. Buy. Buy. Roll. Buy. So giraffe, I think, is worth considering now. The fish has had a few of my buffs, but I don't think I'm going to keep it. I'm invested on trying this mosquito. I should also move the dodo to here now, because I should have it next to the most healthy unit. I don't know how the rounding works. I presume it's going to round down as well. Let's let the fish go. So, do you get 5 or 4? You get 4. It rounds down. Sure. Right, my peacock is coming through. Easy. Another W. And this is going to be big. We get 2 level ups here. Let's go with mosquito first. I have to try it. I'm sorry, I just need to see if this build still works. Will dodo rooster? The tier up is probably not the most important thing right now. Although, I think I'm going to sell the otter for 2. Because this will let me do everything plus. More. The whale has a place in this build potentially, but let's put a giraffe in. Friend ahead +1/+1, and we'll start buffing the rooster. Summon a chick with 1 health and half of the attack of this. Oh, does it only ever generate 1 chick now? Is this the change? I'm going to leave the whale out. There's no point freezing it. It does have advantages with the rooster. Things are looking very familiar right now, I have to admit. What creature do I sell next? Honestly, it might be the peacock. I probably should have put the dodo as well behind the mosquito. That's a bit of a small oversight. We get over the hill this. I still think summoning a unit is very strong for the end game, and I still think this is pretty strong. Give me another giraffe. Give me a dodo. You're desperately trying to give me this whale, but I don't think I need to. Although, if I sell here, I could get a melon armor proc. Is that better than having the peacock, though? I don't think so. I think I roll once, and then we just put meat on someone, like the peacock. If I do this, I'm probably selling mosquito, though. Next. Here's the late dog as well, by the way. Let's keep going. Okay, we're going to get through 2 units here, I think. Yes, 2 units. Great hit for the buff for me, for the ant. Melon Armor Boy is going to scare me, but we get through this comfortably again. Someone else running the dodo. You know, we have to experiment again. Everything is different. My tier list I did last week, throw it out the window. It's worth not the paper it's written on anymore. I just meted this. I kind of want to put garlic on you, but you're probably not my long-term plan. In which case, I'm going to garlic you, who are my long-term plan. My darling baby. I did want to try food build. I appreciate that. Is this the time to do it, though? I don't think it is. I think I'm trying to do a scaling build right now, just see how effective it still is. Okay, you have the rhino. Unfortunately, you're no match for my peacock. Dolphin, you're a spooky little fellow. Ooh, this is closer. We still win. Dolphin snipe meta might not be as strong anymore because we're probably not going to see many turkey builds anymore. Canned food nerfed, remember? However, I'm probably going to pivot soon, so I'm going to buy both of them. I still think it's fairly strong. Then out of all this, I'd rather just put an apple on my chicken than re-roll 3 times. We're still scaling, but I definitely am noticing right now we're not getting up against like 2020 builds. Okay, it's dog summon build with nerfed crab. Well done, Peacock, you did some fantastic work there. My rooster now does some fantastic work too. The chick trades, this is a W. Remember as well, with all units being weaker, it makes garlic even stronger. And garlic used to be very strong. Should we try it? Turkey? A little bit of turkey in our life. It works well with the rooster. Plus it has better stats than, you know, the mosquito that's not really doing anything anymore for me. Not the units I would like you to hit, but sure. Freeze me, roll me. I'm pretty content with the creatures I've got here. The penguin doesn't help me right now. The cow is something else I want to try out, actually. The cow might replace my giraffe. Yeah. I want to see how cow scaling works. I mean, it is my food build, I suppose, but... because I'm going to get more milk. I think it's going to be better than the giraffe in the long run. You have a 14-18 peacock. Actually, now that I think about it, we should get rid of a peacock. It's our weakest unit. It's not scaling. It's literally gaining no benefits. Thank you for the dirty rat. I buffed it as well. To make the rat even worse, you know. Okay, I'm convinced. The peacock, goodbye. I'm convinced you're still no good. Bye. Get a cow. I forgot to purchase the other thing. That's a bit of a misplay. But I'm going to pretend it didn't happen. So that my mental does not fragment. Cow me. I'm getting flashbacks. Give me this, please. And this is fine. Just, I want everything on the rooster. I'm definitely looking at swapping this giraffe out, though. If I can get a monkey, I'll trade. I still think one super strong unit, and if that super strong unit is the rooster... okay. You have the counter to my strategy. Congratulations. I've been a bit out of the game. With dry bagels, you're going to get a win here, and I'm going to update my strategy. Right, tier 6. Do I want to fly? I mean, I'm running a turkey, so in theory I do. Is it time to say goodbye to the giraffe? Let's do it. We have a strong fly at the back. I run my cow at the front instead to take the hit from poison. Rooster me. Rolling me. We want a melon in the future. We want 2 melons in the future. I'm building turkey fly rooster dodo. It's like the amalgamation of the two most hated metas from before. I say hated, the strongest. I don't know if they were really hated. Feels pretty strong still, though, I have to admit. By the way, the fly procs are going to run out now. And I just knocked over a can, so congratulations to me. We did lose. So, it wasn't as strong as I was hoping. Right, let's get rid of garlic. We don't need it anymore. Who's the other unit I melon here? I think it's going to be the cow. As weird as that is, I think that was the correct play. I should have just put sushi on my animals. That was a bit of a stupid play. I do want the monkey. It's a bit late for you, unfortunately. Give me another fly as well. Shark could be really strong now. Fly shark. In fact, maybe I should have considered that too. Let's see who we're up against. It's another rooster build. Who's going to pop my melon armor? How much melon did you get? Oh my god, it's a 26-33. Okay, I should not be as scared as I was. Because we are actually going to comfortably defeat you. Okay, I'm not convinced by the turkey. I don't think that needs to be here anymore. The rightmost friend. Okay, that's still the same. This is fine. Sell me, buy me, move me, groove me, buy me, pair me. We're all of them here. Okay. I wouldn't mind trying Gorilla out as well at some point. It's another unit I mentioned in my tier list that I think could be really strong. But we've just never got it there. Okay, we trade. No, we don't trade. We get better than the trade. You're trying to do the self-harm build. I respect it, but I still think it's going to be awful. I believe in this cow, by the way. Cow scaling is going to be the new thing. You heard it here first. I could... Ooh, I don't think it actually works. I think I've tried this before, Parrot. It's too late for you, Worm. Get back in your box. Man, having some really, really rotten rolls right now. I think I can't go into dragon scaling. Okay. Nice hits. Nice hits. Okay, I'll take that. I think it's too late for me to do dragon scaling right now. I'd have to free up 2 of my slots. And I feel a little bit weak. A little bit vulnerable. Yeah, this is my nightmare. It's super stat build. You're doing it with cat food instead. Which I think is still strong. The turkey would have got me the kill there, but it was not enough. Okay. You know what? A 9 win for the first patch. Pretty good. We could have got higher if I got a bit lucky. I think I rolled pretty poorly for animals at the end. Anyway, get me back in. Okay, this is weird, but let's roll with it. Otter, horse, not the beaver. I will run a cricket instead. Horse, prove me wrong. Prove to me that you're now worth picking because you've got 1 more attack. We are going to be the upset aunties. You know, the aunties that see you've got a girlfriend and they're wearing, like, you know, black eyeliner and they're like, oh, this girl's not for you. That's the kind of upset auntie I'm expecting. Okay, we tied, thankfully, because they were also running a horse. I still think Auntie's very strong. Didn't get any changes. So let's grab you. Let's grab you too. Who's the most likely unit to stay here the long term? Probably the fish. So let's honey me. I'll freeze you. I'll freeze you. I still don't think, you know, the horse token build is going to be good. Just because, you know, he gained 1 more attack. If it was 1 attack permanently, then I think there'd be some intrigue at least. But maybe that's too strong. I don't know. Anyway, this is a win. But I don't think we go down this path. Just tear me up, baby. Freeze the pill temp. You hit the ant. I should have pilled first. Okay. I won't. Honey the ant, then. Didn't get my early level 3 unit, but, you know, it's not the end of the world. We have a lot of tokens, a lot of summoning triggers. More than, you know, the rude husbands. The rude husbands versus the upset aunties. Very true, very true. I like the law. You, Melon. Okay, you win. Oh, you had a tier 2 horse as well. Okay. I really don't want to, you know, go on this horse. In fact, thank you for not hitting the horse. I just can't see my way of pivoting right now is my issue. The blowfish. Do I try a blowfish? Okay, fish, you're not working out. Give me a blowfish. I'm going to cupcake it up to try and win. Freeze here. Freeze here. We're going to make wholesale changes and freeze here. This build didn't work before. Will it work now? Probably not. But I'm going to give it a go. You've got melon. Okay, you pilled a turtle. You are going to defeat me. Congratulations. Man, rough early game for me. And not really great hope in sight. Sure. So horse is definitely going. The cricket is also going to go. Because... Unfreeze then. I should have unfroze you immediately. Give me this. Please do not hit the otter. Thank you. We'll sell here. We'll buy here. Then we'll roll. Freeze me. Buy me. Roll me. I'm honestly thinking, if I put a turtle into this squad, how does it help? I could hit the turtle, which would melon and avoid a hurt trigger. I think it's stupid. I think we have a defeat in our future. I might actually have countered you. By the grace of God. Because you don't get all your horse triggers anymore. Oh my god, we sniped the right turtle as well. We win! I can't believe it. Nice. Keep blowfishing me. I should meet somebody. The camel's probably here for the long term now. So we'll do you. Let's do it. Let's do bunny build. Freeze this, because this is pretty good with bunny. I probably would have gone for you, giraffe, but it's too late now. Freeze me, freeze me. Let's just try and get health, because that's all we need. I might combine my hedgehogs as well for this. For the purposes of scaling. Because, like, one of the hedgehogs dies anyway. I mean, it kills the rabbit too. This is really bad. They're me but stronger. It's fine. If we lose one more time, we're in trouble, but... Do I pivot to worm build? The answer may surprise you. I'm going to say no. Let's try and make this insanity work. Alright, you're giving the health to the units I don't need the health on. So thanks for that. Give me another camel. Give me another pair. I think I've taken too much damage in the early game to make this work. One of our rabbits is dying again. So I should have moved the rabbit to the front. It does look like it's working though, I have to admit. Oh my god, what a snipe. Come on, food build, you can do it. Pull me out of this hole that I'm in. We need as many triggers on the blowfish as is humanly possible. So I think that's literally where all our food is going to go. feed the blowfish. And then move the rabbit to the front. What a weird squad. It's the rabbit sandwich. I still haven't thought of a good use of the parrot either yet. Now that it's moved down a tier. Okay, that was fantastic for me to not get hit by the bison one more time. I think I'm still losing this, unfortunately. Yeah. Tier 3 fish. Okay, the hurt build's still garbage. Right, one more back. Okay, we're going to get a super strong fish. Just to guarantee this, I'm actually going to run with 2 squad. We'll run with a 2 squad. This is pretty nice. We are going to be the fishy fangirls for the alliteration. Okay, super horse build. Do you beat my double squad? Yes. Listen, the overpowered eruptions. That's going to be your one win you get in the early game. Right. Is this good? Yes. It's better than, you know, not having it. I think we run the elephant in the back because I don't have any, you know, self-hurt synergies. Okay. Someone else is running a bit of a mean squad. You hit my ant, which really doesn't bother me. Nice. The swan I still think is worth the investment, so we'll pick up a swan. I'm really intrigued by picking up a crab too. Still doesn't upgrade when leveling. Because I do have 7 health on the board right now. Screw it, I think we trade the elephant. Oh, tell you what I could do as well. If only I had 1 more gold. I could have 1 more gold, I could just sell the ant. This might be smooth brain played, but it's kind of the smooth brain play I'm interested in. This was temporary attack from the cupcake, but it's going to be permanent on the crab, right? So I've got a 311 crab now. Just slap some meat on that crab, and we'll be laughing again. Someone is going for a real mean build. Now, this might have worked, you know, a week ago, but I think right now, you're just in for pain the wet ears. Pain and miseries in your future. Am I at the point still where I would buy an ant and pill it? Is that where I am in the game cycle, playing 4 gold for a 2-1? No. Meet me? Honestly, double crab. And then give me another swan. No one, and I mean no one, will want to go up against this squad. Let's have my hardest hittingest unit at the front. Have you seen the stats of my crabs? And then we can combine these in the future. It does nothing when you level it up, but again, just to get me through this early game, this crab, look at the mischief it's causing to horse build. You're summoning all these attacks with, you know, weak defense, strong offense. Unfortunately, going up against the crab wall. Yeah, that's what I thought. Another win for me. 3 crabs. Three crabs is getting too much. Where are we? Tier 3. I'm going to buy a crab and place it here. Now, I kind of like the idea of the ox, but I don't think the ox is the play. So I'm not going to get it. We'll pick up a fish. We'll roll 1 time. We'll pick up an otter. I'll freeze the snail in case I lose, but I don't think I'm losing this. The meat on the next crab would be pretty nice, but I think I'm going to combine them together when I hit tier 4 and hope that I get a monkey. If we get a monkey, then I honestly think 10 wins is in our future. Like, the mischief it's just caused. It was a menace. It destroyed half their squad. And then the fish just comes up behind and, you know, gobbles up the remnants. It's really nice. I like this. Unfreeze you. I don't even know why I thought I was going to lose. We'll roll once. This is nice. I'll garlic the fish because you might legitimately stay here for a little bit longer. Unfortunately, that's... Oh, we're at T3 still. Okay, that's fine. Is it time to say goodbye to the swan? Pick up a giraffe? Maybe scale a crab? Question mark. The other thing about the crab scaling thing that people were saying wasn't such a nerf is that if you pick up another crab, it will gain the health, you know, off the next scaled unit. So it's still worth scaling, and then you can combine the crabs together. So the crab strat I still think is legitimate. And it makes sense that he doesn't have an upgrade right now in the state it's in. I really don't know who I'd, you know, be buffing on the giraffe. I guess the fish, but I don't really have long-term visions of the fish being here. Let's do it. Let's lose the gold and go giraffe. But the giraffe is probably the next unit that I sell. In which case I shouldn't try to buff you. I think that's fine. Although I am going to combine the crabs. Interesting build. I think you are going to be demolished by me. Although a garlic swan is going to do some work, but more about a garlic fish. Yeah. That's what I thought. Okay, I'm going to combine the crabs now. Please, monkey. Not monkey, crocodile though. Shall we roll a crocodile for a little bit? Yeah, let's do it. Let's invest in a crocodile. You should never smile at a crocodile. So I shouldn't be happy that I've got you, but I am. I'm content. Salad me up. Not the unit I wanted to hit, but fine. And honestly, we're going to probably replace half the squad, so I still think the can is pretty sensible investment. Who's next on the chopping block? It's the crocodile. Who's going to take out your penguin for free? This is the main problem with the crocodile. Like, you could put this to, like, I don't know. I mean, it gets ridiculous, but you could have this at 20 attack. I still don't think it'd be good. We tie. Because the back unit is almost always like a scaling unit. It's only really good if it's like a fly back there, but even then it's not a huge, you know, result for you. I mean, it is now, I suppose. Honestly, I'd rather run dolphin than crocodile. I think I'm going to run neither, but... Tear. Okay, we're pushing the roll button too much right now, and I'm not spending my money. Again, I really wish you didn't hit that crocodile. You know what? Penguin would work. I have a bunch of level 2 units. Goodbye, giraffe. We'll pick up a penguin. Do I think I'm going to tear up the fish again? I don't know. I think in our future we sell otter. Crocodile. I might keep fish in. I think I'm going to have to, because otherwise I'm going to be too low on the old stats. Okay, you've got a worm. That's really what I'm after. Unfortunately, you don't have much stats elsewhere. We're definitely not ahead of the curve anymore. We had a super strong start, but it's starting to be reeled back in. I mean, I've only got 3 gold left. I tell you what, I don't think you're still good enough. Let me pick up a swan and reroll. I knew I'd get something stupid like that. Freeze me, freeze me. Triple crocodile would obviously come up. Honestly, this might be the meta right now. Because... Oh, Scorpion. Because, you know, Penguin and Monkey come so late, you might have to just keep the tier 2 units. Just on the off chance you get a Penguin, not a Monkey. Okay, we've got a Monkey now. Goodbye, Swan. Your work here is done. We're going to get a Giga buffed crab. And then we're going to melon you. freeze. Freeze. It's very late for this worm, but I want to try it. I'm going to sell the otter, I think. Look at those stats flying in. Okay, we're scaling. Scaling better than this guy has. Although we didn't get through as much as I was hoping for then. We lose by 1! Oh my god, I thought we were definitely going to win that. Okay. Goodbye, otter. Your days are numbered. And then we split the strategy up a little bit. We'll start feeding here. I think I just take 3 rerolls now. The crab is interesting. But I think it's wrong now. The melon is necessary. That is possibly necessary. I like that I sell, by the way, the crocodiles. 3 crocodiles show up. I sell the otter, 2 otters show up. We go with this. My penguin isn't getting as much value anymore, so penguin's probably the next thing I'm looking to get rid of. And I'm really looking to replace it with cat. Ooh, this is bad. This is really bad. This is giga bad. We're dead. Man. Tough. It was still 6 wins, and we had a pretty... I was going to say a rough start. We actually had an insane start. It was just a rough mid-game. I'm going to run one more back. I've not played this in a while. You know, humour me. Fish me, otter me. Please hit the fish, thank you. I'll run the otter at the front. I think this is fine. Right, we're going to be the sulking sardines because, you know, I just sulked into another game. I feel like we could have honestly gone longer in that last game. We came up against some real players. Okay, you're so lucky I'm not running the mosquito, it's insane. You still lose. Early game, I think pig is worse, and I think horse is worse. Which is fine. It just is what it is. We'll run double we'll run double cricket. And I'm going to honey my fish. Just in case I run up against some sort of mean badger in the future. We could win what would be a tie. Okay, we trade here. We're going to trade with the fish eventually on the crickets. Ooh, we lose by 1. You had a very strong fish. Okay. We're going to combine. I still believe in the swan. I don't think I'm going to believe in the otter soon, but... Someone is a level 1 tier 3 pet. Okay. Tells you what I think about that unit. I couldn't meet a unit. Who's going to stay here for a while? The swan will probably stay here for a little bit. So let's meet the swan. And honestly, let's throw a few more stats on the swan. Bit of a weak play, honestly. I should really move the ant as well. I should have swan at the back now. This meat will pay off in the future. Believe. Right, some nice trades there. Some good ones there. And we win because of the honey. Okay. I take it back. The honey was in the correct place. We played that perfectly. Hit me baby one more time. Don't hit the ant. I should have pilled the ant first. I'm going to pill the ant. Nice. Fantastic plays. Do I want to buy and sell a beaver? Not really. Shall I pick up a flamingo? I mean, it's like 5-3 in stats. It's undoubtedly better than the cricket. Let me look for something a bit better. I'm not going to get something better, unfortunately. I think I'm going to temporarily run a mosquito. Actually, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to run a 4-man squad. I'm going to honey my cricket. And I'm going to cupcake my swan. Try and get through that swan. Okay, I see what you're trying to do. Why did you put another fish onto here? Interesting. That fish did some insane work, by the way. I shouldn't move my strong unit to the front. I think in the early game, having your strongest unit at the front is typically the better thing to do. Roll me. Swan me. You know what? I could have 2 swans temporarily as well. This cricket, I know I just invested in you, but I think you're also going to go fairly soon. In fact, I'm not happy with any of my units, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. Sell, buy. No point in putting any food on you. Sell, buy. Put a honey here for more stats. You know what? I think I'd actually rather the 3 rerolls right now. Yes. Okay, we get a trade. You're running the self-harm build, but it's not going to work for you. It might work against me at the moment, though, I have to admit, because I'm a bit garbage. My squad is not great. Although, we lose by 1 health again. Okay. Right, we have 2 more losses before we're in trouble. I could honestly invest in this dog right now. I think this might be the strategy. So if you were wondering what I was thinking before with the way I've got everything set up, I'm going to pill the sheep, which will get a trigger on the ox. Plus it'll give me 2 more gold. Sell, buy, sell, buy. Combine, buy. It's boogie woogie time! You thought I was going to do a boogie woogie this episode? You'd be wrong. We're boogieing, we're woogieing. We have a 7-5 dog. Anything else here I want to keep? No. Let's just go. The fish is next on the... Oh, actually, there's the snail is, but then the fish. You're me, but stronger, I think. Yep, you were me, but stronger. Okay, we have to pull out the tailspin right now, or we're dead. I don't want to be losing on 2... You know, I don't want to be losing on 2. Sell me. Buy me. Sell me. Whale in front of Ox, I understand, is a decent build. Actually, hang on a minute. Maybe it's something I need to do. I can. I buy the whale. I sell the fish. I buy the spider. I move the dog to the back. And then we pivot off this build again. It's too much pivoting, really, is the thing. But I think in the... Oh, I didn't even can. I'm stupid. I'm actually a moron. Okay. Sure. We'll save the gold and we'll spend it elsewhere. Worm, unfortunately, I never got to play with you too much. Meet the dog. I think this is going to be one of the rare 2-win games. Although, Edible Hands, you also look like you're having a pretty rough time of things. Interesting trade. Really annoying creature to get from the spider, but sure, I'll live with it. It's a W. Ah, screw it. Let's just go with whale build. If you want me to do it, I'll do it. This is the problem now. I don't really have the space to do this. So I'm going to sell the spider, buy a whale. I have to put something in front of the whale. It's going to be a cricket now. Is this sensible? No. This is really stupid. But it's my only spot I can legitimately, you know, buy and sell in. That's pretty bad. I mean, the Scorpion is not new tech. We should expect that. I'm so lucky you had a 1 health guy coming out of that. I'm a little bit worried that I'm not going to be able to get through this, but we will. We trade, unfortunately, and draw. Give me the dog. Pivot again, question mark? Get a shark instead. Try and get a fly as well. And then run the dog, maybe? Goodbye. Hello. 6 gold. I think I have to re-roll. Not great, I have to admit. This is going to look insane. Sell. Buy a squirrel. And then I'm going to garlic the shark. Squirrel. I need some discounts for next turn, please. I lose out. Oh my god, another scorpion. I lose out on the trigger again. For the dog and the shark. I gain for next turn, though. Am I going to see next turn? No. Not the proudest moment of my life. But anyway, that'll do it for this video. A 3-win game. We did get a 9-win, but still searching for that win on the new patch. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment, subscribe. Everything helps me out. And I'll see you next time. Goodbye.